It's going live?
I'm a spitter.
I'm trying.
Yes, I'm live.
Spitters or quitters?
Spitters
or quitters.
from the start. If you're gonna spit, you shouldn't even start it.
Oh, we're starting off this live hot. Talking about spitters or quitters.
If
Who's
you were
quitting,
gonna
dude?
spit, you shouldn't even start it.
Jesus Christ.
If you were gonna spit, right, Demo?
I mean, it's like from the bed to the sink. It's like you might as well just.
What are you
know?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
From the bed to the sink. Oh, bro, if you did that, I would be so upset. Like, at least spit it back on me. You know, try and make it a little sexy.
Stop.
No,
What?
That's foul.
Like-
why
whoa.
are you gonna spit that on me?
You don't
Hi,
like your
Motion.
dick getting spit on?
Hello, child Motion. How you doing, buddy?
Let me find out y'all on some square shit.
Listen, buddy. Motion, go to bed, okay? There's gonna be some very adult conversations.
No. We're done. We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about how spitters are quitters, and you're gonna make it from the bed to the sink.
How you guys been doing?
Lovely. One day at a
fucking
time.
Tired. One day at a time. That's the thing.
One day at a
bro.
time.
One day at a fucking time. I had to put the merch on.
My guy.
This is probably my favorite shirt. One of my favorite shirts that
You say that about like every shirt.
Besides because he makes such good clothes.
Dude, some of them I've seen, I'm like, yo,
Oh!
that was sick.
You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about this on my drive home. And I was like, man, we got the podcast tonight. I'm pretty hyped for it. You know, and I was like, sponsorships. If we got a clothing line sponsorship for the podcast, would that be what is it called? When you're conflict, would that be a conflict of interest?
I don't think so.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
Well, what we need to do is we need to get Damo some merch. Damo, I have a 4X shirt that you can have, bro. It's the only one I have. I've been saving it for a lucky young lady to wear as a bedtime shirt.
4X? Why do you have a 4X?
Because it was just a random one that I had.
Dude, you'd put it on her, and the shirt hole would just go to the floor because it's so big.
You don't like the shoulders out look?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess.
You don't like the shoulders out look? I mean,
it's alright.
I don't mind. Hey, if you want to wear a 4X around me,
That's crazy. Already. I'm not gonna lie. I got no energy either.
all right, we need to get some energy going right now.
You guys better pep up. Pep the fuck up. Let's go, guys. Let's do this. We are
All
in
right.
it to win it.
All right, let's go. Damn,
I got-
this shirt makes me look. All of the Korpsx shirts make me look swole, bro.
I got
Hug my-
increasingly more sleepy.
No.
Go get some boba.
Coffee.
All right.
Drink some fucking coffee.
No, bro, because I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to wake up at 5 tomorrow. Not trying to do all that.
All right, Damo, come on, baby. Start it off. It's your week. We need some energy from you, baby.
Alrighty. Oh, fuck. Let me get hyped up. Let me just.
Man, you gotta act like you want to fucking be here, man. You know what?
I do want to be here, bro.
Because you're doing you're doing a disservice to not only Korpsx but myself and our communities.
Wow.
God damn it.
Dick.
That was very inspirational, bro. You should have told me to carry the boats or something. Tell me to carry the boats.
Oh, carry the boats, motherfucker.
Damn. Okay. Fuck. When you put it
You
that
better.
way,
Hey, yo, take the fucking shirt off, get into your drawers, show us your dick, and carry the fucking boats.
There you go. Somebody's got to carry the canoes, dude.
Kayaks.
All right. Listen. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're gonna end the podcast there.
That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it.
Listen, thank you so much for being here. This is the usual Tuesdays. This is the start of it. Obviously, we got to do a little pep. Today, I don't know if you're watching it on my shit, on Save shit, or on Korps's shit, but it is the interview of interviews. The first of maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe just 1. I don't know. But Save today, I thought
it's definitely going to be 3.
I thought we've been through some conversations. We know what we think for some topics. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we haven't touched on, but I don't know either of you in depth. Really asking any sort of questions. I know, Save a little bit more because I see him a little bit more consistently. But even so, I don't think I've like really asked more questions and really gotten to know either of you. So hopefully it could be a series, and I'd love to ask both of you for today, just Save, but eventually both of you some questions to get a deeper dive for today on who Save is.
I like that. I'm open to it. When you told me that this morning, I did not expect that. I was like, what the fuck? And then I thought about how fucking cool would that be, right? We've been doing this podcast for fucking what, 17 weeks now? 18 weeks?
This is 18, I think.
It's 18.
19.
19?
Oh
This is
shit.
19.
I had missed
So-
titles.
Shit. No, but we've been doing this for 19 weeks, right? And people listen to us. People tune in. People either come in for a couple minutes or they stay for the whole length of the podcast, which is cool. But Damo's right. Like, nobody really knows who the fuck we are and in depth, and who better to ask each other questions than us. And when he said, like, oh yeah, tonight's just it's gonna be you, and he was like, I already talked to Putch about it, and I was like, what? This motherfucker went behind my back. But I thought that was super cool, and I do think that this should be a series, and I think the next 3 episodes should be us interviewing each other and really digging down, not only for us to get to know each other a little bit more, but for people watching to get to know a little bit more and understanding more where we come from in these topics, because a lot of the times it is just like some satire and we do fuck around a lot, but people can tell when we're really passionate in what we're talking about, and when we like how we bounce off of each other well, so people will be able to see how we're different but also the same in a lot of lights, which is super dope to me.
Kind of crazy. Hopefully we can make Save cry. 2 out of the 3 people here have cried.
Good luck.
Eventually. Nah.
Good luck, brother.
That's never a goal of mine. I don't want to make you cry. For good
You're
or for
such a
bad,
bullshit fucking liar.
I
The day that you get me to cry, bro, you're gonna fucking text Putch and be like, "We got that motherfucker."
I'm gonna text him mid podcast, be like, "What a bitch." Just kidding.
Oh my god.
But this is honestly the first time I've ever been like interviewed, so I'm a little nervous.
Surely Korpsx has interviewed you.
Not
You guys had a-
really,
you guys-
not really interview though, because that's the thing that's why I like being on the smoking section so often, is because with Korpsx it's like he's like, oh yeah, tell the people about yourself, blah blah blah, blah. And I'm just like blah 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 blah, the normal shit, and then we just talk. You know what I mean? Kind of like how we do here, where sometimes we have a topic, but we get off topic and then we start splurging out other shit. Typically, like I think maybe the first time that Korpsx and I ever did a smoking section together, he was like, "Yeah, this is kind of what I want to talk about," and that was before we even like streamed via PC. That was on an Instagram Live, and it was about mental health and the importance of understanding mental health and where mental health is, where it was going. And I think this was like back in 2018 or 2019. Like it was a long fucking time ago.
2020-ish. Because that's when that was before smoking section actually started, and that was when I was doing Friday's Food for Thoughts.
Yes, that's what it was. Friday Food for Thoughts. So there was really no structure in the way that we did anything. It was just kind of like, this is the topic at hand, but like let's just cover the basis of everything that topic has to deal with. So yeah, I've never been actually sat down and asked questions by somebody that wasn't a woman.
What?
Did you just
Like on a
assume my
date?
gender?
Wow. True.
I mean, I've seen your dick before.
Wow. You really think that matters?
It doesn't.
Just 'cause-
according
just
according
'cause he
to
has
today's
a
society.
dick?
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey,
It's
you're
what's
right. You're right.
inside.
You're right. You're right.
Wow.
You're right. You're
That's
right. You're
crazy.
right. You're right. You're right.
I apologize to her. Just kidding.
To her. You guys
Yeah.
tell me, Corpse?
Well, you're assuming my fucking gender like the
Yeah.
bigot that you fucking are, dude. How
Oh,
dare
now
you?
I'm a bigot.
Exactly.
I'm a bigot, and what was it? I'm a bigot. I'm racist, sexist.
And I hate women, yeah.
I hate
It's
women.
always
Cancel!
bigot.
No
It's
wonder
always-
you misgendered me.
It's always bigot, but never how big is it?
I like
Just
that one.
kidding.
Oh shit! You don't want to know.
All right, listen. I got the first question because I just thought of it. I'm just kidding.
Like, damn, doing this on the fly,
Yo.
huh?
You had put something on your Instagram. Did you get anything back? She get any bites?
Man. You want me to read you the questions that I got on my Instagram?
I was just wondering what they asked.
I'll read them off to you, and then you can decide which ones you want to use. Okay. And I will read every single one, even though there's some of them I don't want to read.
Raunchy. Okay.
Yes. I mean, all right. These are the questions that I got on my Instagram. Question number 1: what's your body count?
Wow. Okay.
Number 2: what does it really mean to be your authentic self? When did you realize you were made for content creation? Oops. And then somebody just put, should ask about UFOs. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
We already know that.
How long you been gay? Vic or McNabb, McCoy or Westbrook, and Raising Cane's or Chick-fil-A. And why are you single when you got a bomb-ass personality? So those are the questions that I got.
Okay. I mean, some of those are good. I don't like some of them, but some of them are good.
Oh shit! One of them was cause.
Wait, which one?
Tune in.
How long have I been gay?
Oh, okay. It's not even 9 p.m. boys. 0 bodies. He's a son of God. True.
That's right. Hey, how did you know? You know. Hey, my son was born through
holy conception.
Holy conception.
If you're like born again, do you just like, is that all gone too?
There's no way, right?
Not to like joke about it. I mean, that's a genuine question.
No, but it's your sins wiped, right? Like that's how they do it when you become a sister,
because technically,
like a nun or a preacher.
All your sins of premarital sex is technically a sin. So is that like zeroed out? Mileage at 0?
I don't think mileage is at 0. I think it's like a rollback. Like the true miles are still there, but it shows as 0.
It's more of an oil change.
Yeah, slate hasn't been cleaned. They just kind of chipped off the top.
Yeah, so it's
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
some of that residue is still in there.
Yeah, well, you are always a sinner. You know what I mean? We are anything of the flesh is of sin. You know what I'm saying? So then to be born again is to say, yes, I was a sinner, I am a sinner, but through the body of Christ, that's now, pause.
Yeah, the whole tangent. I'm sorry.
Because I'm like, Demo doesn't understand, bro. He does these little things, right? Demo does these little things where he's just like, oh, hot take, boom, and then Punch and I are just like, blah, 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 blah. Like, what's your favorite fucking ice cream? And then blah, blah, blah. Oh, but then he's like, can you kiss your kids on the mouth? And we're like, yeah, and then it's over. Like, what the fuck? Dude, oh yeah, Punch did send me Instagram the other day, an Instagram post of some fucking grape ice cream.
It's a real thing. You guys thought I was making
I've just never seen it. I've just never seen it.
Look, legit on everything I love. I really thought you were making that shit up, and I called bullshit on that. Or as the kids say these days, cap.
Dude,
why are you capping?
I was like, there's no way this is like Mandela effect. I have seen the fucking grape ice cream with my own goddamn 2 eyes. There's no way.
But is it like a sorbet, like a lime ice cream?
No, it's not, bro. It's fucking ice cream. That's the trippy part about it.
No. I don't believe it.
That shit's fucking tripped the fuck out.
All right, I'm going to ask the first question when Korpsx come back, because if not, we're going to go on a whole nother tangent.
Yeah, we don't want
some other shit. This is about you, Save.
Nah, we can't make it always just about me, bro. That's not how the world works.
It's never about you. Today's about you.
Today is the day that we appreciate.
Did you bring out a Bible?
This man just grabbed the Bible from the fucking top drawer.
I did because there's something I want to read off later, and I think it's very important to a conversation that me and Damon were having through text message.
I told you.
I like that. Y'all kind of cute. Just touch tips already.
Oh, you think we haven't already?
Where's your glasses at, bro?
They're right here, literally. But
put them motherfuckers. If you're gonna interview me, I need you to put them on, bro.
It's because they annoy the fuck out of me.
Because okay. So I had somebody reach out to me through IG, and if you're watching, you know who you are. And
male or female?
Surprisingly enough, a female.
That's not surprising at all. I know your hands full, baby.
And they were actually speaking to the effect of Save and his point of forgiveness. And they were saying that like, oh, I kind of relate with what he's saying, but I want to hear more about what you said. And so we got to chatting, and I referred back to the line of scripture from Matthew where Peter was told by Christ to forgive. Like, don't worry about nothing else, just forgive them. And then I was speaking with, but that was one. So I had to like look through the pages of this thing a little bit, because she was actually quite knowledgeable on like the Bible, like, you know what I mean, and quite knowledgeable on her faith. And it was cool to speak with her and to be educated by her, in her interpretations of the word, and to also have her validate and understand and hear my interpretation of the word. Right. And to also understand that I'm not a Christian. Right. But this book speaks to me in a language that I understand, if that makes sense. Right. Like, krump dancing speaks to me in a language that I understand. Ballet doesn't, even though I may appreciate it. Not seven. Yeah. So slide, not 7, but 77 times. Though I may appreciate ballet, and though I may appreciate these other styles of dance, I appreciate it, but they just don't speak to me in the language in which I understand. You know what I mean? That's why ballet dancers dance fucking ballet. It speaks to them in a certain way. That's why they can appreciate krump, or they can appreciate hip hop, right? And understand it for its art form and what it provides to people, but it doesn't resonate the same way. That's why
hold on. I'm a little concerned. Why the fuck you got girls in your DMs talking about me?
They appreciated what you said.
I'm just fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you. I'm helping you get girls in your DMs, is what you're telling me? Damn, what a wingman I am.
The podcast definitely helped.
What a fucking wingman I am. Look at that.
Let's do a podcast.
Round of applause for Save helping Korpsx get some DMs.
Yo, but like wholesome DMs, not...
Very
but let's see how wholesome those DMs continue to be. Let's just say it.
I blocked her.
What the?
Because he already knew, bro. The devil was calling. The devil was calling.
No. I deleted it, but I did make sure to delete the message, and it was.
Wait, why'd you block her? I'm curious.
Because it would have turned into.
No. I didn't block them.
Oh, okay. You're trolling. I thought I was like, damn, bro. He was already thinking of the crazy shit that he was gonna do.
Hey, from the bed to the sink, bro.
Bro, it says it right here that you need to swallow, like, you know. It says it right here.
All right, listen. This is Save's night. I want to ask the first question.
All right, let's hear it.
So you've alluded to wanting to be multiple things throughout this podcast, but one of them that kind of stood out that I was a bit more curious about than others was a motivational speaker.
Yes, that's my number one.
I thought this was really cool, but I've also wondered why. I guess at what point did you kind of want that, and like why did that draw you in that profession?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that. Okay, so I'll give you a little backstory on how I decided that I wanted to get to this position. So I've always had my father in my life, right? My dad has always been father didn't like abandon me. He wasn't like blah 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 blah. But my dad has always worked 2 jobs my whole fucking life, and I never get to spend time with him. I spend half of a Monday with him every week for my whole life, pretty much. So he never really knew what was going on in my life. I skated, I danced, I painted. I remember one time he watched me skate for like 15-20 minutes and he never said anything to me about it, but I could tell in his just his expression that he was. What happened, Korpsx?
Oh my God, Sly is so bad. You're like, oh, my dad didn't abandon me, and Sly goes, hold on, I'll show you.
Can't relate. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Oh shit, that's fucking funny. But I could just tell in his expression that he appreciated what I did. He didn't appreciate my tattoos. He didn't appreciate the graffiti. He didn't understand it. Like Korpsx was saying earlier, right? Certain things speak to us differently, and I had so much creativity in my flowing through me that I just picked up everything that I viewed as artistic and wanted to be the best at it. Whether it be dance, whether it be skating, whether it be graffiti, whether it be canvas work. We even would rap and shit. Dumb kids on the corner rapping. But I always wanted to be artistic, and I I did really horribly in high school, really horribly. And then I wound up getting expelled from my high school, and I had to go to a secondary school where I was stuck in three classrooms, and we would rotate classrooms. We would get drug checked every morning, every afternoon after lunch. It was just the people that I was around. I didn't want to be surrounded by those people. And there was, one teacher in particular that was just like that. He would take us out on walks. He would take us out on a walk for 45 minutes, and I got to chatting with him, and you know, he just basically was telling us this, you're not a bad kid, you just made bad decisions type of deal. So when I was allowed to go back to my high school for my second semester of my senior year, but I knew I wasn't going to graduate because I tried to make up enough credits when I was in secondary school, and I was doing packet after packet after packet after packet to try to make up my credits, and I knew I wasn't going to graduate. And I sat and spoke with my dance teacher, and she said, "How does it make you feel that you're gonna sit on the stands?" Or she asked me, "Are you gonna sit on the stands and watch everybody graduate?" And I said, "Yes, because those are my friends, and it's not their fault that I didn't graduate." And I sat there, and I looked like a completely different person when I went back to that high school. I wasn't wearing baggy clothes anymore. I just had a different outlook on life and an outlook on how I wanted to do things. And it was from that moment right there that when I watched my friends walk across that stage, I said, I never want anybody to feel this way over dumb decisions that they made. Schoolwork should always be a priority, and you can still do the things that you want to do. I had some of my skater buddies graduate. I had some of my graffiti friends graduate. I had all my dance friends graduate, and I just thought to myself, how can I make a difference? And I was like, well, I've lived this, so now I just, it started with me speaking to my brother and his friends. Y'all got to do the right thing. Y'all got to do this. Keep your fucking heads up. Don't get involved with gangs and shit like that. Because we were into all that mess. And that's when I really progressed and started doing it. And then I would watch motivational speakers, and I would feel so strongly about some of the shit that they were saying. But the difference was these were $1 million men, $1 million women that have accomplished all these great things. And I had it in the back of my mind, like, I've never accomplished anything in my life, so I can't pursue this fully. Where now I'll be 32 this year. I don't think it matters if I've accomplished anything. I've accomplished 32 years of life. You know what I mean? So I feel like now I can be a motivational speaker. And that's honestly why I picked up streaming, was because this was a platform where I could we could talk about shit like we talk about, or I could be playing video games, speaking facts, spitting knowledge, or showing people how much fun we can have while we're playing video games, but still create friendships and show people the love that I give to everybody. So I mean, there's just a lot. But that moment, watching my friends walk and graduate and get their diplomas, was the moment that I knew that I wanted to make some type of difference in somebody's life.
Mm.
That was pretty good. Good
Thanks.
answer. Good answer.
I didn't rehearse.
I mean, Butch, you got something to roll off of that? Or not?
So would you say that sometimes as you're speaking, or when you find yourselves in these moments where you're, because I've been on your streams and I've listened as you speak with people, and even as like your sign off, right? Stay happy, stay healthy, keep smiling. Do you find yourself speaking to your younger self as much as you are speaking to these other people?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like, I think that the reason that I talk the way that I talk now is because had I known this when I was younger, it would have made so much the difference. And I feel like there's like, I don't know everybody that watches me. I don't know everybody that follows me. I mean, there's a couple people here that, that constantly chat and constantly talk, or even message me that I talk to on the side. But I always think of it like I have such a wide range of viewership, right? From people older than me to people younger than me. And you never know who has to hear it or at what point in their life they need to hear it in order to make a shift, a positive shift, or who's having a shitty ass day and they're just like, oh, hey, Save reminded me that he loves me and that I should always be happy and keep smiling. Because through all the bullshit, man, like those are the things that I've always remained true to at the end of the day. Those three things.
Are these some of the things that you wish you would have heard from your dad?
From my dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, for the longest time, I always longed for my dad to tell me that he was proud of me, but I never really I never accomplished the types of things that he would be proud of me for. You know what I mean? But like when my first commissioned graffiti art that I ever did, he doesn't even know it exists. He doesn't even know that I went and did that. You know what I mean? He didn't know. I mean, my dad came to hip hop he came to one of my hip hop international performances, but I don't even think he knew that I danced until like my senior year in high school. My dad he came to like one luncheon because it was on a Monday, and I think that's when he realized that I danced. And he came to one hip hop international performance. I competed in hip hop international for 3 years. He watched me skate one time out of like 10 years that I skated. So yeah, I mean I heard him say that he was proud of me as I got older for like being a father now. So sometime within the last 5 years. But I've never heard him say that he's proud of me for doing the things, like accomplishing the things that I've accomplished or doing the things that I've done. Like my dad didn't know how much money I was making. You know what I mean? He doesn't. But that's just not our dynamic. You know what I mean? And it will never be. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm at peace with that. But as long as as long as my father knows that I'm handling business and being a father, because that's what I'm here to do now, right? That's all I care about with our dynamic.
Though you may be at peace with it, do you think you've found it inside yourself to forgive him for it?
Well, yeah, and that was the thing is I struggled with that for a long time. Like, I don't think I was ever angry. I don't think I was ever angry that he worked 2 jobs, and I don't think I was ever angry that he didn't know what I was into. I think It was more of like a letdown. You know what I mean? Like, damn. But then I also think to myself, like, my father comes from a different country where they don't do these things. They don't like. His mindset is you hit a certain age, you work, and you work for your family that you're going to have, and that's why he's here. So I don't know if it was like a forgiveness thing. I don't feel like I have anything to forgive him for, but I think it's more of an understanding thing that there's a lack of that type of compassion. I know my dad loves me. I know when he hugs me and kisses me on the cheek and tells me he loves me. I'll see you next week, son. Just the things that we talk about, and I'm older now, so we can fuck around a little bit more and talk shit to each other. Like I know he loves me. It's just it wasn't a very fruitful father to son relationship. I learned all like the how to be a man type of shit from my dad instead of go out and enjoy and do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
I was gonna ask, do you find yourself now that you have a child of your own? Do you find yourself doing the things that very much to the same nature of like speaking to yourself in your motivational speeches, envisioning almost like the person that may need to hear it, and that might even be you from time to time, or previous versions of you in like fatherhood? Do you find yourself doing the things that like I would have appreciated it?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Every single second of every single day. And it's funny because people always say they never write books about parenthood, right? Like they don't teach you how to be a father, they don't teach you how to be a mother, they don't teach you how to be good parents. But if you really analyze the situation that you grew up in, your parents absolutely taught you everything that you need to know about being a parent. Because and I had this conversation with my mother one time, and I told her how I felt about my dad. My mom and I never we had a relationship as I grew older, but I was a punk ass kid, bro, and I got kicked out of my mom's house because we lived with a roommate. And my mother and I never had a great relationship. You know what I mean? There's this running joke that like I'm my father's favorite and my brother is my mother's favorite, and we never had like a great relationship until about a couple years ago, and now we're very open. We could talk about a lot of things. I know that my mom doesn't view me as a fuck up, which I thought she did for a very, very long time. And, we talk about a lot of shit. And I told her, I said, I appreciate the way that you guys raised me, even though I grew up in a broken home, right? Like my parents divorced when I was 5 or 6 years old. And I dealt with a lot of other women in my father's life that's a whole fucking different story. But I told my mom, I said, I can now appreciate, as in my 30s, appreciate everything that you and dad did or didn't do, because now I know what I need to do. Now I know how to handle certain situations. Of course, there's going to be situations that are thrown at me through Peanut that I'm not going to know how to handle. But for the core base of how I want to raise my son, um, that's honestly the biggest reason why I think my relationship with Tierra is so important. Because even though we're not together, like I don't want to skip a beat with him, and that's important to me. He needs to know that mom and dad can get along and are there and can take him to do stuff together. And my mom and dad never took me to do shit together as when I got older, ever. I have one picture that I two pictures that I've ever seen of my mother and my father together, and one of them is their wedding picture.
What was like the catalyst for the change in dynamic between your parents and yourself? Like what opened the gates to be like, we're gonna have a better relationship
Between both my parents, or are you talking about my
between
mom
yourself
specifically?
and your mom and yourself and your dad.
It comes with understanding, I think, and maturity. Um, I understood that it was nobody's fault. It wasn't. I was a bad kid. Sure, I did fuck up and do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only so much that's in control. You as a parent, we don't have full control of our children, and nor should we have full control. We should allow them to do the things that they want to do, right? But like even things that my father didn't like, my mother enjoyed. Like my mother enjoyed my art. My mother always saw me carrying around my little black books, and when they were getting full, she would always make sure she would give me another one. She would make sure she would make sure that I always had paint pens because she knew that I would go steal them from the Michaels or the Walmart. If I asked her to go buy me paint, she would buy me paint, and she would always say, "Make sure you're doing this in a legal spot." And we would go out the next night, go bombing at 2 in the morning, and she had no idea. You know what I mean? But as I got older, I realized she did know what the fuck I was doing, but she allowed me to make those mistakes on my own. And me maturing and getting older and understanding that she was allowing me to make those mistakes, and understanding that she couldn't handcuff me to the bed. You know what I mean? But she would never let me fall either. You know what I mean? If she always told me, if you're drunk at a party, I don't care what time of the night it is. If you guys need me, call me. I'll come pick you up, type of thing. And I knew that there was something in me that knew that she would and wouldn't be mad at me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think with just getting older and understanding more, and especially after becoming a father, knowing how to talk to people properly and understanding why people do certain things, and asking why they do certain things, I think me being able to have that open dialogue with my mom, it made our relationship so much better. I mean, my mom and I drink together now. Not that she drinks a lot or often, but we'll take a couple shots of tequila here and there somewhere and have a good time. And she just lets loose, and it's like this is a version of you I've never seen, and it's awesome that I get to see it now, and I just appreciate it so much more. That was a good question. That was really good.
Yeah, thanks. I
This man's
appreciate it.
he's trying to hit me in the heart.
No, I want to get to like the core of. I think everybody has like pillars, and I'm sure Putch will figure yours out as well. And you guys will hopefully I can figure out mine as well as I'm going. Um, but I think those get solidified and like reinforced over time, and sometimes it's really good to like look back and realize why they're even there. And really cool to see that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, and I think the more that you understand, like because I've grown up, I was diagnosed with panic disorder in 2011, right? And I was so scared of change. I was so scared of death. I was so scared of I always what ran my world, and I try not to live my life that way anymore. You know what I mean? I try and live my life through fact. I try and live my life no longer thinking what if, because what if will never happen unless you actually act upon it. Um, I think that's so important as well. Is just understanding that, um, what do they say in the what do they say in in the Serenity Prayer? Uh, Let me forgive, or what is it? What does he say? What is the Serenity Prayer? Let me pull it up. Hold on. That shit got me through a lot too. Let's see.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember it verbatim, but it's like to have the
Accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
the know the
Oh,
difference.
I like that quote. That's a good quote. I like
And
that quote.
when I found that, and I live by it. And this too shall pass. I live by it as well. Although things suck, it'll pass. But you also have to remember, although it's great right now, you have to remember that'll pass too. So, it's balance, right? I mean, but
Hmm.
you, I think the balance is all. When we've had a conversation about this over the podcast before, I don't think there's a such thing as balance because in my opinion, the scale should always be tipped one way, and that's in towards of progression.
Hmm.
Sure.
Ooh. We'll keep it pushing.
I have a question in terms of your panic. It's not a
Oh wait,
disorder.
hold on, Corpse. Damo asked me this earlier. He said, "Is anything off limits?" And I said, "No."
Okay.
For
So
the most part,
Corpse.
right? Like,
Dox him. No, just kidding.
if you want my address, I got you.
No. In terms of like your panic, so when you got diagnosed, what was the days after? Like, what were you thinking, and how have you kind of counterbalanced it? Because I feel like you're super outgoing, super extroverted, very talkative to like anybody, and I feel like that's a direct contradiction to your anxiety. And I could imagine that that's because you want it to be like, not define you, but like, be able to
Well,
take
that's
control of it.
no,
But I don't
that's
know.
actually an interesting point. So, the concept of anxiety is such a funny thing to me, and how people explain it. Whereas, my anxiety doesn't come from people. I have no anxiety towards people. I have no
Mm,
anxiety when people, even sitting down and having this conversation right now, no anxiety. You don't cause me anxiety. People don't cause me anxiety.
mm,
It's, for me, what it is it's the way my body is. So I have a heart condition called mitral valve prolapse. And what that means is, so you have two valves that go through your heart like this, right? One of my valves in my heart is extended. So what happens is, sometimes, like, too much blood will pump through, or not enough blood will pump through, but both of those things causes my heart to flutter and pump harder at some point. So what that does is it triggers, a palpitation in my heart, and my brain will immediately start telling me that I'm going to have a heart attack. And
Jesus.
that's when my anxiety kicks in, because
Yeah.
then I can't stop it at that point. I think I'm going to have a heart attack, and that's when I start freaking the fuck out. But on top of that, I also do get like bursts bursts of panics where I feel like something bad is gonna happen to me, whether it be me passing out, or I'll have like super intrusive thoughts, where I'll be like, "What if I just jumped out of this car right now?" And I can't stop my brain from thinking those things, and my effort in trying to stop my brain from thinking those things creates like this combat in my brain, and it causes me to have a panic attack. Um, so I don't have it doesn't give me anxiety, to talk to people, or to be around people, or to go do certain things. Sure, maybe I'll get nervous, but I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck. And there's no such thing as an anxiety attack. So for whoever's watching this, if you ever say you have an anxiety attack, it doesn't exist. An anxiety attack is quote unquote a panic attack. You can ask any psychologist in the world; they'll tell you anxiety attack does not exist. Um, but yeah, I mean that's how that works. But I mean, I'll tell you about my first panic attack, and it was crazy, bro. Because I was a dishwasher at a restaurant, and my brother worked as a busser there. And I remember I was like putting the dishes in the rack and going all fast and listening to my music, and then like everything just felt like not real, and like my vision got cloudy, and it felt like, I felt disoriented, like I didn't know where the fuck I was for a second. And I remember my brother was a busboy, so he was like carrying this thing of dishes to the back where I was at, and I grabbed it and I was like, yo, like come here real fast. And he was like, yo, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm fucking freaking the fuck out. And I told him to slap me, and he like did like a little bitch slap, and I was like, no, bro, slap me hard. And he slapped me, and it didn't do anything. So I walked outside, and then I just remember I fucking bolted, bro. I started fucking running down the street as fast as I fucking could. because and then um I learned later on that that's your body fight or flight, right? So I decided to flee at that moment. And then my heart started fucking up, and I started getting all these like I started feeling that very like more frequent. So my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "You need to go to the doctor." So I went to the doctor. They hooked me up with the EKG, and I did all these tests, and they found out that I have mitral valve prolapse. And then I asked to go to therapy, and when I went to therapy, that's where I was diagnosed with panic disorder. But I didn't handle it in the best way. I did a lot of drinking. I did a lot of prescription pills. Um, like I handled it the wrong way. But it's hard. It's extremely hard because when you find something that takes your anxiety away, or you or something that makes you feel normal, like you want to continue to do that. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
drinking, like now I can drink socially, right? I can have two tall cans and chill and go to bed. But it would be like even within the last couple of years, it had been to where I'll drink a bottle one night and then I'll wake up with a hangover, which will cause me to have anxiety, which will make me feel like I'm gonna have panics all day. So I just decided to keep drinking. And then that was like an ongoing fucking cycle. And granted, I was the person who's talking to you today. I still had these same mindsets, but that was the monster that I was dealing with, was my anxiety and my panic attacks. And I I was like refusing to go back to prescription drugs because I know that I'll abuse it. So I figured with drinking, if I drink a bottle a day, to me or to anybody that knew me and how much I drank, like that was appropriate. And a bottle a day wasn't too bad for me. But the more that I kept thinking about it, I was like, fuck, man, like you're literally drinking a whole fucking 750 milliliter of Hennessy a day, and then maybe drinking more on top of that, depending on how early in the day you finish that. So, it kind of just took me a while, and then I was sober for a long time, and yeah, it's just hard, bro. It's hard when your brain does certain things and you want your brain to stop doing those things, and there's no fix to it. Like there is no cure to panic attacks. There's no cure to it. You cannot fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides, unless you take medication every single day. You know
And
what I
even
mean?
then, I mean, I think there's something to be said about like prescription, but also like being able to do it yourself. I mean, but that takes a lot more deliberate and a lot more like experimenting to figure out what kind of works for you. So I
But
think
then that's the
that's
thing, right? Like you take too much, you get high, you like it, and then you want to keep being high. You know what I mean? Shit, I remember when I would get high off Adderall all the fucking time and hitting up fucking Korpsx, and I'd be like, "Yo, you got the hookup on Adderall?" And he'd be like, "Nah, but I had got the homie that has like modafinil or some shit." I'll never forget this. And I pulled up. He gave me the pills. I fucking took them. I drove for like 25 minutes, and I had to pull over and throw up because that shit fucked me up. I was like all fucked up.
I felt
Yeah.
bad. I was like, oh no, I killed him.
what the fuck.
Oh
Corpse,
my god.
you got anything? You've been silent for a minute. I don't want to exclude you or anything.
I
No,
think
no,
you're
no,
talking
no.
too much.
You're as much. Oh yeah, because this is not about you. Save
No,
it.
I
Like,
know,
shut
but
the
I just
fuck
don't
up.
like making it about me, bro.
No, this is
No,
100%
it's
about you.
and sometimes it is best to just sit back and listen for me, right? And some of these stories I have heard from Cisco before, and I want to make sure I say that name too, and not Save, but Cisco. I've heard this from him, and to sit down with him and have gone through some of these stories because it's like during the Friday's Food for Thoughts, I was going through it. I was fucking going through it, and I was calling this guy on a regular basis, and was like, "Yo, dude, like I am fucking wigging out," and he would like really. So I guess I say all this. I say all that to say this is that where he's coming from is a very genuine spot, right? Because these are stories I've heard from him, and he's helped me walk, you know, not only through it, but walk away from the edge because I was about to launch myself off of a couple different bridges at times. And so it's
Mhm.
just good. And it is, it is, I don't want to say triggering, but it is a solemn reminder of how far not only that I've came as a person, how far he's came as a person, but how far our friendship has came as people too, you know. But one thing I do want to ask though is like, if you could put your finger on it, like what was like the worst one? Like what was it? What was the moment where you had like probably one of these worst attacks that was just engulfing you? Was it the first one, or was there one like after Peanut was born? Because I remember holding Elijah, and I remember like being away from him for the first time. I was like, holy fuck, I'm a dad. Like, you know. So what was the worst case?
Worst panic attack I've ever had?
Yes.
I have two that I can remember.
Mm.
I remember. So there was one time I was in Philly, and I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time. I was with my girlfriend at the time. And I had been drinking the night before. Right, we're in Philly. We're out there for a game. We got the tailgate early the next morning. It's fucking freezing cold, right? Um, and I don't think at this point she had ever seen me go through a panic attack. I don't think so. Like, not a serious one, right? Because there's been times, even when I've been on stream, where I'm like, oh, give me a second, guys. Like, I'm about to have a panic attack, and I'll like walk out of the camera for 5 or 10 minutes and collect myself. And like through the years of having so many panic attacks, there's so many like grounding techniques that I can do. But this particular time, it was like full fledged. It's coming at me hard. Like uh, it's it's so hard to explain how it feels, but you genuinely feel like deep down inside of you and your brain that you are going like you're gonna drop dead. That's what it feels like, and there's no like feeling. I can't describe how the feeling is, but that's what you think is gonna happen. So you try and it's like a moment of trying to do everything that you fucking can in that exact moment to not either knock yourself out of it or convince yourself you're not gonna die or something. But your body just goes into this full fledged panic, and you don't know what to do. It's kind of like if you lose your phone in the morning in your bed and you're like tapping around for it. Like just imagine your brain doing that, right? Like looking for life or a way to escape. And I remember I was at the tailgate and I was with all my friends, and it's fucking freezing cold out, so we all have our coats on and shit. And it was about to hit me. So most of the time, depending on the situation that I'm in, like I've had a attack in front of you before, Damien. You had no idea. But depending on what the situation is or where I'm at, I'll typically excuse myself, or like if it's a group of people talking, I'll kind of just like back out slowly and then like go be by myself for a second. But so I did that, and I knew that it was coming, and I knew that it was going to be hardcore, and I didn't want to be alone. So I like went back, and I was like, "Hey, can you come with me?" And so she came back, and I was like, "Don't freak out, but I'm about to have a panic attack. Like, can you grab me a beer or something?" Because beer mellows me out, like it relaxes my body and allows me to like go through it. You know what I mean? So she grabbed me a beer, and I chugged it as fast as I could, and I knew it wasn't gonna help, but I was just hoping that it would help. And I started. So then I was like, "Hey, I'm about to freak out. Just don't tell me to calm. I hate when people tell me to calm down or just breathe or it's gonna be okay. Like just
Sure.
I just need you near me to make sure nothing happens to me, or that if I do fucking die, like you can fucking call somebody over here." So I was like, "Don't freak out. I'm about to have a panic attack. I'm probably gonna fucking wig out here. Just don't say anything to me and just be next to me." Um, so I started freaking the fuck out, bro, and I started sprinting to this parking lot, and I made it all the way to the other arena that's on the other side of the football arena, and I like started stripping my clothes off because cold makes me like it grounds me. It allows me to realize that I'm still flesh. So I started stripping off all my jackets, my jersey, my sweatshirt, and I had my body like on the sidewalk, bro, nasty ass sidewalk where people are probably pissing and shit. And then finally, I was like, the thing is, after I have a big panic attack like that, I am fucking drained. Like the energy is sucked out of my body, and I need to like go to sleep or relax or something. So I was like, hey, can we go back to the fucking Airbnb? And then I went back and I slept, and then I went to the game. That was one. The other one was when I lived in the house. It was, I want to say like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was laying down in bed and I was watching TV. I was just listening to the TV, and then I felt like something bad was about to happen. And So I got up and then I was like, okay, chill, relax. So I started breathing and it just hit me. So I ran to the fucking bathroom and turned the cold shower on and with all my with my clothes on and shit, got in there and it didn't fucking work. It didn't shock me out of it. I was still freaking out. So I literally ran outside, left my dogs. I didn't even lock my dogs up, and I started running to the hospital, bro, at 2, 3 in the morning. And I started running. I was running down the street in my sweatpants, no shoes on, soaked from head to toe, running down the street of El Cajon to try and make it to the hospital. And then I finally realized, like, oh fuck, like I'm running to the hospital. Started freaking out, ran back to my house, and then when I got back to my house, I realized that my car had ice on the top of it. So I laid on the top of my fucking car, and then I thought to myself, wow, if somebody comes out here, like they're gonna see this fucking half naked guy laying on the top of an icy, like what the fuck is going on? But yeah, like little ones, like ones that make me fucking just start running and freaking the fuck out. Those are the two worst ones I've ever had.
When you get into that like zone, though, is it very much like, oh shoot, yo, podcast? Is that us?
No, hold on.
What
His,
was
his
that?
Pornhub fucking turned on.
Dude,
in the
imagine.
background.
Dude, imagine.
No, you're
just
my
all-
stepbrother. You can't do this.
I'm stuck in the dryer, step bro. What the fuck?
Don't tell
Cisco.
anybody. Can we still
Yo,
go?
what was that? Why did it just pop on like that?
Wait, what the fuck happened? I lost the sound. I can't hear you guys.
What the
Ooh,
Can't hear you guys.
Dang.
You're plugged into the Pornhub.
Can't
bro.
hear
You
you. What happened?
Bro,
Clear the cache.
yeah,
Clear
the cache.
history, bro.
Clear
But
history.
you gotta.
He's
gotta,
out. He's
oh,
embarrassed.
He ran away.
Wow, that's okay. We all see stepsis in the dryer sometimes. I'm just kidding. No, but yo, this interview is going sick. Good job.
Yeah,
man.
it's really good. Yeah, dude, no, it's good. It's good. And it's good to hear him speak on it because it's very I can't even think of the word. Hold on, here he is. Sexy bastard.
Oh, I couldn't hear you guys anymore.
You are
Oh, shit.
blown the fuck
Wait,
out.
What the fuck happened?
Jesus Christ.
You are bright. I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Oh my fucking god. No, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, hearing him speak on this is really cool. And it's cool actually to have both of us on there because obviously you have more of an extensive history with him, and I have not as an extensive history. So it's cool to see like somebody who knows the stories and somebody who kind of like I'm kind of like the audience playing into like what they might want to know.
Funny enough, I was having a panic attack over the weekend. And I was like in the middle of this fucking mall in San Angelo, Texas, USA. And I'm like, I am freaking the fuck out. I was like, oh my God. Like pacing around in a JC Penney's. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to pass out. I was like, dude, I literally felt like I was about to just just fall fucking clean over. And I reached out. I was like, who do I fucking talk to about this? Cisco. Let me hit him up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Cisco, I'm freaking the fuck out, dude. And like, I just like, as the words were coming out, Cisco's like, dude, you're good. Like, I was like, all right, okay, I'm fine. Like, okay. But when he's like, yeah, like it wears you out. It was fucking like, that's relatable as fuck. Cause I went back to the hotel and just napped all day. Like I barely left that fucking bed. Facts or not, Cisco, I hit you up this weekend cause I was fucking tripping out.
Wait, what'd you say? My headset cut out.
No, I was telling Damon as you were gone, I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I was having a fucking panic attack over the weekend, freaking out. And I was like, I didn't know who else to hit up but fucking Cisco. Like, Cisco would know what to say. And you were just like, dude, you're good. I was like, okay. Like, yes, okay, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. Facts or not, I hit you up over the weekend.
When you guys both feel this level of like anxiety and like this level of like panic attack, what is the... Because I know you can't really describe what it feels like.
Hold on, time out. Can you say that one more time? I don't know what the fuck is going on with my shit, but my fucking headset keeps going out. When we feel this level of anxiety, what'd you say? I apologize.
It's okay. When you feel this level of anxiety, when you're going through these panic attacks, obviously it seems like all forms of rational thoughts like zero. Some would even say 0%. But That's besides the point.
I like
Thank you. I'm so sorry. That was so dumb. But but like, what's the it? It's so weird to think that like there's moments or even lapses of time where you can know everything that's happening, and but somehow also not be in the driver's seat. What is that like?
It's
Because it's like
fucking
you be running somewhere like you were saying and not know why or
it's
where.
terrifying,
Like
bro.
totally,
It's
yeah.
terrifying, and that's why I want to get into psychology. That's why I want to get my degree in psychology so bad, right? And be able to speak with substance because I have my degree, not only through experience, but through science on why people feel this way. But there is no explanation for it. There's no explanation on why it happens. It's just a bad mixture of chemicals that happen in your brain that cause this. That's why it doesn't go away. There's no cure for it. Could eventually go away, right? There's a large percentage of people that experience a panic attack in their life, but there's a very small percentage of people that have panic disorder, um,
Mm.
because it's the chemical makeup of the brain, right? And it sucks, man. And there's like it is it is the hardest thing I think for anybody to ever go through, because who the fuck wants to feel like they're dying every day and have no control of it? And like you
Mm.
said, and that's the thing. That's the thing that trips me the fuck out, right? Is because the side effects of panic disorder or the side effects of a panic attack mimic and replicate those of a heart attack. So, and they're like exactly the same, bro. Numbness in your left arm, your heart beating, hard to breathe. Um, so it's like I always thought to myself, well, what the fuck if I really am having a heart attack and I'm sitting here telling myself that it's just a panic attack, and I just fucking fall over and die? You know what I mean? Like, but then I think to myself, well, at least you were prepared, or at least when you die and it hits you, like you're not like you're just gonna die. Like you've been through this before, you know what the symptoms are. So I mean, I guess it's just the way that you look at it, but it is, and that's where that serenity prayer comes back into play, right? Like, allow me to accept the things that I can't change. And it took me so long into my adult life to understand that I cannot change this. I cannot change that I feel this way. I'm not gonna embrace it. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I have fucking panic disorder. And that's why I don't tell a lot of people that. And I tell people that have watched my stream, and obviously you two know, but I don't go around telling like this is like a fifth date kind of thing, you know, like.
Fine date.
Hey, I just want to let you know that if I ever do freak out, I have panic disorder, but I never delve into the true feelings of how it makes me feel, and it sucks, dude. It is. I would never wish it upon anybody, not even my worst enemy, because it's just like you said, knowing everything that's gonna happen, but not being in the driver's seat.
Mm.
But I know it's gonna happen, and it's gonna
Yep.
suck while it happens. But I have no control of it at all, and it fucking sucks, man. It's like I've said this constantly with how it makes me feel. And this is like I don't want to get fucking canceled for this shit, and I hope I don't. But it's honest to God, with how it makes me feel. Like if I didn't have Peanut, I'd probably be gone. Like that's how bad it makes me feel, and that's how sucky it is.
Why would
And
you think that would get you canceled, brother?
well, because I don't want somebody to be like, "Oh, he's suicidal." Like I'm not suicidal. I have plenty of reasons to live. But like it sucks, man. It sucks. And a lot of the times, well, I try and look at it in a positive light, right? Because there's a lot of times I lay in my bed at night, and we always, oh, why me? Why do I have to live like this? Like I'm past that. I'm past the why me shit. But Corpse and I had a conversation one time on why we believe the saddest and most depressed people are the most artistic ones. Robin Williams killed himself. Kurt Cobain, like these people that put smiles on people's faces every single day, Don't let people know the struggles that they're going through. Make sure everybody's happy. Make sure everybody feels love. Make sure like there's not a reason that there's definitely a reason why I'm like that. There's a reason why I like that flows from me because like I'm not saying that I'm not happy, right? It's just I know that if I'm going through this, there's people that don't want to talk about going through this and they need to see people like me and feel people like me because they're
Mm,
too scared to say that this is going on in their body, or going on in their head or how they feel certain ways. So I'm like, that's why I'm like this is because if I don't do it, somebody else might not do this, and I need people to know like, yo, I feel like this too, and we're good. Like we're good. It sucks, but this is our purpose. This is why we're here to let other people know that they can be good too. You know what I mean?
do
Like
you
I've
feel
always been a jokester. I've always been the fun guy to be around and happy and let's do this, let's go do that, energetic, But like sometimes it does get draining, bro. It's hard. It's hard, and it's not like an act that I'm putting on because I genuinely feel this way. But it's hard to think like why. It's hard not to think why me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
mm,
I also think it's me, and that's why I'm like this. That's why I was. It's like the balance, right? Like you gotta go through this darkness, but you're giving other people light, and that's the
mm,
part that sucks. It's like I gotta go through the darkness for other people to go through the light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Butch.
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, you've spoken earlier about wanting to get a degree in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think sometimes we search for. Oof, I had the way to formulate this question. Sometimes we get stabbed, right, throughout life.
I know
I
exactly
think
where you're going with this.
I think sometimes you want to be able to take the knife that you've been stabbed with and utilize it yourself. Um, is learning psychology, putting a name to the things that you feel, do you think that gives you some sort of control
Yes,
amongst your, panics? What do you think?
absolutely.
What do you think that'll alleviate,
It won't
if
alleviate
any?
anything. It won't alleviate anything. What it'll do
Mm-hmm.
is allow me to have the power to teach other people.
Mm,
Okay. Okay.
It's no longer at this point in my life. It's no longer about me, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not that I don't give a fuck about myself, but it's no longer about me. I am on a mission to allow everybody to feel, not allow, to help everybody feel happy, to help feel everybody feel loved, to help get everybody to the step that they need to get to. I've reached where I want to get to for the time being. I have a beautiful son. He is absolute perfection, and that's my route where I'm going with him. But what makes me happy is knowing that I have some type of um, foot in the ground when it comes to helping other people, and I want to put the other foot in the ground right next to it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel I'm gonna progress. For me, there's a fork in the road, and both of them are towards progression. One is in fatherhood, and one is in life.
do you think having the ability to name those demons will help you solidify your purpose? Because I feel like when you speak of, shining this light, that it's a part of your purpose here. Like you say, like, oh, like this is who I am and this is what I do. Do you think that being able to name these demons that you have in you, that it helps you refine your purpose here on earth?
It's funny that you asked me that because I touched on it a little bit earlier where I said I had a huge fear in dying, and that I wouldn't serve my purpose if I died. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to fucking fascinate, like it used to fascinate me, and I used to just sit there in awe, thinking about who would attend my funeral, what would they say, how would people feel, would they cry, would they laugh, would they tell jokes, would my boys like pull up after to my gravestone or like take my ashes with them and fucking put me down and sit in a circle with a fucking case of beer like we always do, like would they do that shit? And it's like I don't. I have to be okay with not knowing that shit. You know what I mean? Like we have to be okay with not knowing what the fuck is gonna happen. You know, and it's funny, right? I had this conversation, and you know what? I'm gonna speak about it, right? The girl from New York. I said the question was something along the lines of where is this going? And I said, I don't know, and that's the beauty of it. I'm living in the moment and I'm allowing this go wherever it's going. And I love that. And the response was, I don't know where it's going, and that's what scares me the most, and I can't do that.
Mm.
So it's interesting to see the different types of people, right? Like I understand that in this life, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. We could finish this podcast, boom, have fun, everybody good night, send our good night text in the morning or at night, drive home in a fucking 18-wheeler, lose control, and I fucking fall off a bridge somewhere and die. Or I could fucking be 60 years old doing motivational speaking. Who the fuck knows, man? And that's why I said I don't live in what ifs anymore. I try not to, at least. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it would fix. I know that it would help me in the future if I make it that far, but who knows? Who knows? I'm living right now. I'm living right now. Because the what ifs, even if like you think about the what ifs for your kids, that's the scariest thing in the world, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's even scarier than thinking about the what ifs for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think in what ifs, bro. I don't. I feel like I'm taking you guys to a really sad place right now, and I don't want to be taking you guys there.
I don't think so. I mean, we could jump right out of it. If
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't want you guys. I never want people to think that I'm not okay, though. You know what I mean? And I'm very open with this because it's reality, it's fact, it's who I am. But I don't show this side to people because I don't want to feel pity. I don't want people to feel remorse for me. I don't want people to feel bad for me. I don't want any of that shit because if you didn't ask me these questions, we'd be having a fucking good ass time any other way. You know what I mean? So
Well, I want to make sure I say this, and I don't know where we'll go off of this, but for you and for Sylvester, and anybody else who may feel certain ways about their presence on Earth or anything of that nature, I love you guys, and your life. I celebrate it, and I say this because I do it every time I cheers now with people. Is thank you for being alive.
mhm.
Thank you for being here with me.
And that's
Thank
why,
you.
you know,
Thank you, bro. Thank you
like
for
you said,
being here with me.
no, I appreciate you guys, you know, and I try and tell you guys I appreciate you guys as much as I can, and I try and tell everybody I appreciate them as much as I can. But like you said, even with my sign off, right? I say the same thing every time I sign off of a stream is stay healthy, stay happy, keep smiling, and I love you because I want people to remember those things. And I know I have a clip somewhere that I posted about it, but it is very important. We gotta stay healthy not only of our bodies but our minds, right? We gotta stay
Mm-hmm.
hydrated, keep ourselves going, read, learn, continue to do these things, and stay healthy. We gotta stay happy, man. No matter what, like you got to do the things that make you happy. And I learned that at a young age too, right? Like I try to hide some of the things that made me happy because I didn't want to look a certain fucking way. But I don't give a fuck now. You know what I mean? If I'm fucking shaking my ass with Peanut at SeaWorld because that shit makes him happy, it makes me fucking happy too. And we got to
Mm-hmm.
keep smiling because it takes more energy to frown than it does to smile. And
Absolutely.
and
more
smiles
muscles in your face.
and smiles scientifically make you feel better. Like if you smile, it makes you feel better. And always remember, like you said,
Even if
bro,
it's fake.
I love you. Like I love every single person, and that's my downfall too. You know, and I've noticed that is that I try and find the good so much in people, always. Even if I think they're wrong in something, I try and find out what the fuck is really going on with you. Why do you feel this way? Why are you acting like this? And I think that comes, you know, with why I want to be a psychologist at the same time too, is because I really want to dig deep. Because people don't dig deep. People don't do this. People don't do what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been asked some of these fucking questions. I don't know how to answer some of them. I'm nervous a little bit on how I answer them because I don't want people to view me a different way. But I'm also very honest in how I'm going to respond. And if you view me a different way, that's on you. I can't do anything about that. So I'm me at face value. So take it how it is. You know what I mean?
I love you at face value.
Thanks, bro. I love your face.
Oh fuck! I was gonna say that. Just to pivot a little because this is it's getting a little dark, and we.
Hey, you almost got a tear out the eye though. You almost got one.
Wait, by who?
Both of y'all.
Me?
Equally. You almost got the left eye. He almost got the right.
You gonna cry after this?
Oh, you will. You will.
You're gonna log out and you're gonna start crying. It's all right.
Me and Korpsx will jump you, and then you will cry. Okay, we're gonna get it out one way or another.
Korpsx, it'd be a good fight. Me and you, I'd take your ass, bro.
Listen, bro, you don't understand. Everybody underestimates me. Okay, that's how people get fucked up. No, it's fine. But listen, I do want to kind of pivot a little bit because it did get a little bit darker. We've gone through like the dark ages of the podcast. Although there will be dark ages in the future, and I love it.
We have 2 more stages of dark between you guys. I'm digging, baby. Call me the grave digger.
But I will say I wanted to kind of touch on content creation a little bit because that is something that I'm interested in and something that you've touched on a little bit. Obviously, you live stream on Facebook. You had a good rise with the GTA stuff. I think you did like RP, right? You did really good on that. Gained quite a bit of a following on Facebook.
It actually started with Call of Duty, believe it or not. Call of Duty was where it really took a turn for us because it was Fortnite at first. When I first started, go ahead, ask your question and then I'll continue.
I was just gonna ask essentially what was like the reason? Did you do videos before? What was the reason that you pushed live or made your first piece of online content of like video making or
That's a good
live
question.
streams?
That's a very good question. So my brother and I played. My brother had convinced me to start playing Fortnite with him, and I was like, "Nah, that shit's whack. It's whack. It's whack." I played with him, loved it. He had a buddy in Hawaii named Seth. Shout out to Seth. I know he's probably not watching, but shout out to Seth. And we were all playing, and we were having such a good time, man. And as we do when we play video games, maybe not everybody, but like when I play with my group of friends, it's funny because my buddy sent me. He like dumped a whole bunch of clips of us playing video games, all in a variety of games today, and I was fucking cracking up. And me and these guys go at each other's necks, and we like go for blood when we talk shit to each other. And I said to them, I wouldn't give up the shit talking if that meant that I had to give up these fun ass times that we've had playing these video games. So my community knows the dynamic between my brother and I when we play video games, and there's no holding back, bro. I talk so much shit to him. He talks shit to me. It's funny. And his buddy Seth was like, "Man, these would make great YouTube videos if we did this." And he was like, "Have you ever thought about live streaming?" And I didn't know what the fuck live streaming was, bro. I had no idea that there was this whole world of streamers and this and that, and fucking they were making money off of it. So he was like, "Oh yeah, like look at this guy," and he showed me Ninja. And Ninja was playing with this dude named Courage JD, who my community knows I love Courage. If I ever got the chance to meet him, like I would shake his hand and give him a big hug because he is everything to me. Like he's my inspiration. And I started watching Courage consistently. And then I found out that on my Xbox I could stream straight to Mixer. Rest in peace, Mixer.
Jesus.
And
Mixer. What the fuck?
So I started live streaming to Mixer off my Xbox. And then I would start making like I would have little clips of me and my brother bickering or us winning or blah, 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 blah. And then my buddy was streaming on Twitch, and he was like, "Oh, you should make a Twitch." And I was like, "What the fuck is Twitch? I don't know how to stream to it." And he was like, "Oh, you can get it on your Xbox." So I started streaming to Twitch. Then I bought a raggedy ass computer I bought a capture card, and I plugged everything in so I could now use a face cam while I was streaming to Twitch while I was playing Fortnite. And I was having a lot of fun, bro. And it was more so for me at that time because I could go back and see all these funny moments. I'm gonna tell you the rise of my whole streaming career right now. And then I hit affiliate on Twitch. So now I can start making money. I'm big time now, right? Blah 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 blah. So I started getting little donations here and there. Started getting subs, and then I found Facebook Gaming. Facebook Gaming was fresh. It was new. So I started dual streaming to Facebook Gaming and
Twitch.
to Twitch. And at this time, I was playing Apex more heavily than I was playing Fortnite, and Call of Duty had just came out. So we were playing Call of Duty a lot, and then there was this streamer on Facebook. I looked over at my view count, and it was like at 200 something. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And my chat was going crazy. Brrr. I couldn't even read what the fuck was going on. I had never been had to follow my chat that long. And this is probably like a year and a half to 2 years of me streaming now. And they were like, "Oh, this guy wants to play with you. This guy wants to play with you." So I was like, "Bet." So I got off the game with the boys and I went and joined this guy, and he was like, "You got one game to impress me," and we started playing, and I'm getting fucking donation after donation after donation after follow after follow after follow, messages, like my chat's going crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then so after that game with him, I was like, Facebook is where it's at. I liked the fact that I could see all these likes coming through. It's very engaging with the community. I could see who's in here. You know, like if somebody doesn't want to leave a message, all they have to do is leave a reaction on the film or on the thing. They can send me stars, this, that, and the other. So I was like, boom, full time Facebook content creator now. Moved to Facebook, and I was gaming with my boys, Go Pig and Maddox at the time, and we were like real heavy into our very competitive, and we're playing Call of Duty and trying to show people how to maneuver and this and that. And then Call of Duty dies out, and they try Apex, doesn't work out very much for them. So then we turned into like a variety group, the three of us. They had both streamed on Facebook for a little while as well, but my following kept growing and growing and growing. And then boom, I fall in love with GTA RP. I had a homie of mine hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, you need to try this. It's fun." Blah blah blah. So I created a character, and we were all just fucking doing dumb shit. And then we created a whole storyline of what was happening in this life. And bro, when I'm telling you, the shit turned into a soap opera. It was like there was people in my community that were like, "Oh my god, remember when such and such did this like 3 streams ago?" And like people were following it like it was reality TV, and it was wild. And then my numbers started going up. I would get 40 viewers at a time, 60 viewers at a time. There was one point I was like 180 to 200 and something viewers at one time, and I'm like pretending to be somebody in this game, and it was wild. So I was like, I'm gonna ride with GTA RP as long as I can. But then I realized I was losing out in playing time with the two friends that I enjoyed playing with. So I took a step back and I was like, as much as I want it to be about my viewership, I'm no longer having fun playing this game, and I feel like I'm only playing it to, you know,
Appease the viewers.
to be appeasing to my viewers. And I had already done that once before with Call of Duty, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So my viewership dropped, but I was happy in playing the games that I was playing, and we got a lot of great content out of it. Unfortunately, I was too lazy to edit my own videos, and I was looking for an editor, and I still haven't found an editor or somebody that would go through 4 to 8 hours worth of content and make it into a 2-part series or a 12-minute video. And that's when I kind of fell off, and then I moved into this place, and it's not as aesthetically pleasing as my old place was, so I kind of just like took a step back and stopped streaming as much and started just playing video games for the love of video games again, and playing because I enjoyed playing video games, and that's kind of where I'm at now. But I love that we can do this and people can tune into this, but I do miss streaming. Like I miss streaming to people and communicating and interacting with chat and doing all this fun stuff, and but it goes back to something, like what I was telling you, like regardless if there's one person in here or 100 people in here, like you still gotta have the same energy. It's just harder for me now because I've had that, and it's hard to come back from that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't had anywhere near that, and I know when there's like one person and it's my girlfriend watching, I'm like, bro, what the fuck, dog? This.
I love your
You know,
girlfriend, by the way. Happy belated.
I love her too.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
Dude, you guys are a beautiful couple. I want to make sure I say that too, because I've seen your
motherfuckers make me sick.
You guys really do.
Thank you.
Tell her I'm about to steal your ass.
The jealousy that affects my nervous system and my immune system.
Not that I'm ungrateful for her watching. I always appreciate that she's watching. I know she's the one viewer there, but
you got a girl who's supporting it. Let's make sure.
I know. I appreciate it. Always, I appreciate it.
Our loyal fact checker.
Slanging that schlong, dog.
Our loyal fact checker of the fucking Usual Tuesday podcast, bro. Shout out to our one staff member.
No, but I think
you can't say staff member legally because we don't pay her.
I mean, hey, you pay her in sex. Hey, we appreciate all of our sex workers. But you know what? We got to get her on the podcast one day, though. Oh, speaking of that,
ever do it, but
speaking of that, I meant to tell you guys. So Spank Queen, who is another content creator here on Facebook, she came in one time. She came in when we were having the relationship talk.
Sure.
She's got a couple. I think she's got about 10 or 11,000 followers here on Facebook. She wants to have a guest. She wants to have a feature on our podcast. I meant to tell you guys that. One of my viewers, who's a great friend of Jordan, who's a great friend of Putch's as well, was in her chat. See, here's the beautiful thing about my community, and Jordan in particular, is that whenever we go and view we used to go and do this thing where we would view other people's streams and donate money to them. And even from that, like if a streamer ever came into my chat or I ever went into a streamer's chat, he would always go check them out. And he would stay in there and he would donate to them a little bit here and there and chat with them and get to know them. So I guess he did that with Spank Queen because I've been following Spank Queen for quite some time. I love female Apex players. I think in a very competitive world of esports where it's a mostly male dominant game, and especially a game that I really enjoy watching, when I can watch women do it, I love that shit. But I guess he was in her chat and she was like saying like, "Oh, Save, yeah, like I let her, like tell him to come in here," and he messaged me and told me to go in there, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to be on the podcast. I think it'd be super cool for us to do." So that's something that I definitely want to sit down and chat with you guys about. I think it definitely should be after this series of the interviews, but it would be cool to get people from platforms, and then maybe do this type of interview type of thing with them as well. I think that would be really cool.
That would be sick. I was gonna say real quick on on that note as well. I know Cisco, me and you talked to my friend Samuel. He also wants to be on the podcast. I know we kind of dabbled and talked a little bit about it, but we were actually chatting today and he was like, "Bro, I want to be like on the podcast." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll see how they feel about it. What's the vibe?" But I mean, we got to chat about it. But yeah, we'll chat about it offline.
Well, I was going to say this, watching as much podcasts as I do, because I watch a shit ton of podcasts. I've seen where they have a guest for the whole show. I've seen where they have a guest for 30 minutes to an hour. And with our time slot, I think it would be good for like an hour's worth of a guest appearance. And then that way we can still do our own thing at the same time and talk about the guest appearance or talk about what we want to talk about. Like, I think that would be super cool too. So that way it's not like this guest here for the whole time slot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good idea. But I think we should talk about it a little bit more too. But I think that would be cool. It's cool that we're gaining that type of traction where people want to participate.
Kind of weird, but really cool. Yeah,
it's awesome. It's
awesome. Yeah, well, hopefully they enjoy it as much as we do.
I do want to get my buddy Kalen Eddings on the show, a good friend also of Jordan Locklear. We all played football together.
Damn, motherfuckers using legal names and shit, first and last name.
Listen, I am praying he becomes. He is attempting to work with the LA Lakers, and he's been working with Phil Hanley, who is an assistant coach of the Lakers, He's been teaching at the Mamba Academy. He's staying in my apartment right now, fucking house sitting. And I mean, me and this dude go way back. And our friendship kind of fell off in high school. From middle school, we had, 4 classes together every year, and then going into high school, we had no more classes. He was doing his thing with, basketball and all this shit. And I was just fucking off smoking weed, wrestling and shit,
Sounds like me.
Right. So it's like, but we've stayed in contact, and anytime I saw him, it was always good vibes. But he's insightful. He's got a lot to share. And yeah, offline we can definitely get some of this shit ironed out, details on scheduling and all this shit. But no, it's, you guys are vibrant. I want to make sure I say that to both of you, and definitely for you, Cisco. Your community has always been uber involved with what you do. I've seen that a lot more firsthand. Even considering like Jordan, like I would pop in to your stream, especially in the beginning, to like support, like, hey, I'm gonna support my man's stuff, share it, like it, all this stuff. And every fucking time Jordan's in that bitch, he's in there like swimwear, and I'm like, bro, like,
that's my brother, bro. That's my brother. He's in here every day. Literally every time I fucking go live, he donates 50 stars off the bat like that. We talk every day. He's been adopted into our group. He plays video games with us now. Even when I'm off stream, like we play video games at least twice a week, maybe sometimes 3 times a week. That's my brother, bro. Like, he knows all this shit that we're talking about right now. He knows pretty much everything. Even to the point where I had like $5 in my pocket, and this motherfucker would be like, "Yo, here's some cash. I don't want it back. Here you go, bro." Like, that's like to that point, bro. And like, not that it has to do anything with money, but it's just like the principle and the concept of that type of friendship. Like, it means a fucking lot to me, bro. Like, that's insane. Off of video games.
I will
off of video games, bro.
I will speak to that, because you like to say that we'll never see you cry and that you don't cry in front of people, but you have cried on a stream before. I saw it with my own eyes. I was going to let you bring it up yourself, but
have I cried on stream before?
There was a gaming stream that you were doing, and some dude who I looked at his profile and I was like, he's prolific, right? Like, he is.
Oh, that was the guy. Yeah. I did cry on stream.
And you cried on that fucking stream, bitch.
That was the one where, bro. Look, I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. You know how much money I made that stream? I probably made like almost $900.
Damn.
In like 45 minutes to an hour on just that stream alone. But it was like they were happy tears. I wasn't like, but it was like, I think I have a clip of it somewhere, and I called my mom on the stream and everything, and that was cool. Was that the only time I cried on the stream? Jordan would know. Jordan, was that the only time I cried on the stream? I may have cried one other time. I think I cried on my birthday one year. I think. I don't remember. I remember I did like a 12-hour stream one time. That was fucking hell.
I never wanted to call you on it.
Or a 24-hour stream.
I was like, I'll let him be honest in his own time.
I haven't. That was the only time. Okay, that was the only time. That was the only time. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot I cried. Yeah, that was the only time. No. I genuinely, so long ago, bro. I've been streaming on this platform for like 3 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 3 years, and I only have 1,000 followers. That's wild, huh?
That's 1,000 more than somebody who's starting today, brother.
Literally 500 more than I have.
Yeah, but how long have you? When was the inception of your fucking page?
Bro, I've been online longer than you. Let's just.
How long have you been making content? Like, actually making content?
Longer than you.
Really?
Yes.
Well, 2 times. When was the other time? What was the second time, Jordan? Hold on, I gotta see when the second time was. I know it was that time when Nitro did that shit. That motherfucker has 1 million. Look him up. He has 1 million fucking followers on YouTube.
We'll get there, boys. I promise.
Let me see. I want to see how many followers he has. Yeah, 1.04 million subscribers on YouTube. And that's
crazy.
the guy that fucking came in here and made it happen for me. Okay, you guys got anything else you want to bring up? You got 25 minutes. Oh, here, let me answer some of these questions real fast. These Instagram questions.
I got them written down.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead.
Listen, I know you're gonna choose the wrong answer, so might as well just get it out of the way. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Crunchy.
You fucking know. Yeah, of course you would. You fucking delusional dickhead. What the fuck is wrong? Anyway.
How dare you?
Listen, you too?
Crunchy peanut butter.
Crunchy. It's
Both
got.
of you motherfuckers are crazy.
It's
Are
got
you crunchy?
soft and crunch.
Yeah, why do you want...
No.
Who the fuck wants creamy?
I want creamy. You know why? 'Cause
I got some
like
creamy for you, baby.
I like to live life with as little obstacles in my way. Okay? I get to go places faster. I'm there quicker. It's just better. Look at how smooth you can just glide your hand. With the fucking crunch, it's like you gotta fucking readjust every half second.
Nah. You're doing it wrong,
stroke.
bro. You're doing it wrong.
What the fuck? What do you do?
First of all, I readjust every half stroke anyways.
Yeah, okay.
No, you gotta take a big enough fucking scoop like that. This is look at the flick of the wrist. Boom.
I know
Then you get the bread. And you.
That's delusional. Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Wait.
Wait. We got a question in the chat for 0. Wait, are we all open books? I know that there's one thing off topic for 0, and I think there may be like 1 or 2 things.
Wait, what's off topic?
Out of bounds. I'm not gonna bring it up because I already know it's.
You could bring.
I already know it's out of bounds. No, because I already know it's out of bounds.
It's not out of bounds. It's just
There's one thing out of bounds for 0 that I know for sure is out of bounds for him.
Sure.
Corpse, is there anything out of bounds for you when we chat with you?
No.
Okay. So here's the question.
Well, I want to know. Put it in the group chat later.
Do you use condoms? That's the question. That's the question in my chat right now. I gotta use that safe sex with that latex so I don't get that latex like I'm latex.
What
do we consider? What do we consider condoms? Chick-fil-A or Raising Chick-fil-A all day.
It's overrated, but that's the right answer. Chick-fil-A is overrated.
Raising Cane's is way more overrated. What are you talking about?
It is.
Whoa.
It is. Both are way.
And the
overrated.
sauce at Chick-fil-A is way better than Raising Cane's. Chick-fil-A sauce over cane sauce any day.
They're both good.
I will take Polynesian sauce over Raising Cane sauce any day of the fucking week. But Raising Cane sauce versus Chick-fil-A sauce.
Polynesian sauce is kind of
They gotta make a spicy Raising Cane sauce. Oh my god!
If they put like some crushed red peppers in it,
I would fuck with that. I would fuck with that.
What I mean?
Some kind of spice in there.
Heavy.
Yeah, I can fuck with that heavy.
Ooh.
I just had Raising Cane's last night for dinner, and I was disappointed.
Overrated.
It was the first time I was ever disappointed.
Here's the thing:
It's pretty bland.
I went and got a chicken sandwich from Raising Cane's, and all they did was put fucking chicken strips on it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is bullshit." That's all y'all got in the back is chicken strips. Like, come on, bro. Next question, please.
Genuine question. Something I thought that they in your Instagram post came up with that I thought was really good. Why are you single? What's good? You're a great dude. The fuck?
What you mean? Why am I single?
They don't deserve it.
We already tried this and it didn't work. I just talked about it earlier on this fucking podcast.
What do you mean?
Distance, baby. It doesn't work.
Oh, not like her specifically, dog.
What do you mean? Like, why am I not out here chasing women?
No. In general, has there been a common thread throughout everything? If not, what's the thing aside from her keeping you from pursuing a immediate like a long lasting relationship?
Okay, there's a couple things. One, I don't like to be outside. I like to be right here, bro. I like to be right fucking here. I like to be playing video games in my house. I go from work to go see my son and come home and then do it all over again. my weekends consist of doing things with my son. A lot of women that I've delved in, or whatever the case may be, right? And there not very many of them since my last girlfriend. One. um, but people seem to have an issue with my relationship with my son's mom,
Sure.
and I don't want to. When we talked about this before on the last podcast or the relationship podcast, right? Like, I don't want to keep putting myself out there when it's not necessary. I don't have to do it anymore, and I'm okay, and I'm at peace with being single. I don't need to. I don't need a woman to solidify who I am. If the right person comes along, sure, maybe that's the case. But I'm no longer interested in going to seek. Like, I'm not interested in seeking that out. I've done that. And it doesn't work out in my favor, and I'm okay with that. I don't have anybody to blame for it. I don't need to second guess my thoughts on it. I'm okay with it. Cool. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm cool with where I'm at right now, and I'm okay with being single. Like, I don't need a woman doesn't define who I am or how I live. And shit, if there was a woman around, I'd probably have less time for you guys.
Damn. What the fuck?
Fuck
Why
that.
would you say that?
I mean, I wouldn't make less time for you guys, but I'm just saying, like, that's probably how it would play out.
I
Run up,
got
Rebecca.
That's fucked up. Putch, now we know where we stand. What the
I
fuck
do.
was that?
I hope he never. No, I'm just kidding.
We fucking I was gonna. I hope he's alone for the rest of his fucking life. No,
Yeah. How dare he?
no. What about
Great
you, Putch?
podcast, Damien.
Thank you.
Great. I think it's important because I can't help but, like, when I rewatch the podcast and I listen to our stuff, a lot of it I can understand where we're saying stuff in real lifetime. We're hearing these questions and we're having these discussions in 4K resolution, real life time, and it is very easy to be perceived and taken a certain way. And I would go tooth and nail for you guys, right? Because especially Cisco. Like, I know Cisco, relatively well. Like, he's my guy. You know what I mean? And so, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Myself, right? And I just never want people to take us out of context of this podcast. You know what I mean? And so to have the opportunity for Cisco to kind of explain who he is as a person, why he is the way that he is, and kind of show that side of him, so people can be like, yo, like they're just having these conversations. These are real life conversations that we never get a script of what's being said. There's no punch list of questions that we're going over every week. So I think this is a great podcast to even have Cisco explain a little bit of his life. Like, as he said it earlier too, he's like, yo, I'm kind of nervous. Like some of these questions I've never heard before. It's like, yeah, bro, like, we're coming in real life, 4K, bro. And it's cool for me to hear this again from him. Some of this stuff I've never heard from him, and to see that vulnerability from him, and to see, again, I've addressed him as Cisco because we're seeing Cisco right now, not Save. We're seeing Cisco at this moment.
And that's funny that you say that, because with my community, I've always been very open with them and very real. And there's been times where I'll even stream for half an hour and I'll be like, sorry guys, I don't want to be on camera right now, or I'm not even being myself right now, and I don't want to disservice you guys. Or there'll be times where I get home and I'm like, I cannot, I don't even want to be in front of a camera. So I would write a post and be like, tonight guys, I can't do this. I apologize to you guys, to the people that watch or whatever. Because I am Cisco and Save are one and the same person to me.
Yeah.
And I don't I'm not here to put on I put on a face for the stream and we have a good time, but my face is always genuine. And if I can't come with it, then I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I've always been very open and honest with my community, and they know that, and they know how I am. And like as corny as it sounds, but they are like an extension of me. So when we would go into other people's streams or even support, like there's people from like I think Kelly has every single piece of Corpse collection merch that Corpse has ever dropped. You know what I mean? So when you have people from a community that do that type of shit and they are an extension of me, I want to make sure that I'm the best version of myself to give them so that they continue to be that best extension of me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a community that, and this is what I used to tell them all the time, and I haven't said it in a long time, but they built this community. I just sit here and play video games. I just sit here and talk shit with my friends and have fun and laugh and scream and get mad or get scared or do all this shit. They're the ones who are chatting with each other or chatting to me and have created this, this community of little fucking minions and grunts or whatever the fuck you want to call them that just they take on their own life and their own persona. There'd be times where I'll be playing video games and I'm not even paying attention to chat and they're having their own fucking conversation, So I'm just the glue that holds everything together.
Well, there's a reason why, and I like that you said Save and Cisco's the same person, and it's how I always do my little sign off. It's important. It's important. I'm glad you said it though, because I hope what I say later resonates.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah.
I think you got time for like two more questions, Zero?
I have one that pinged when you started talking about like, oh, sometimes I'll stream for like half an hour, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be on camera today. There's something that happened earlier in my childhood, and I'm drawing for this question on my own perception. For a long time until, embarrassingly probably, until after high school, I viewed my parents.
Oh.
No, I viewed my parents as like superheroes, just like, and maybe even sometimes I still do, just like perfect humans, right? Like unable to do any wrong. They've never had a bad day, especially my mom. When you're in the mix of like raising Peanut and things like that, are you thinking or will you ever have the days or the talks where like, you know what, today I don't feel too good? Because I feel like growing up, I never heard these conversations with my mom or my dad, and that's why I feel like it does feel so supernatural to be around. When I was a kid. Now I know they have like shit days, and my mom told me about things that were happening in the background that I just never knew. That in the moment, if she told me, I feel like it would have grounded her a lot more in my head to be like, oh, you're human. Like you get bad days. You're not happy all the time. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about with Peanut?
Yeah, I'm saying like in the midst of like raising Peanut, are you thinking about like having those days and being honest? Not that you would lie, but like honest with them and just be like, you know what, like today, I'm not doing too well. X, Y,
Are you
Z.
talking about when he gets older or now?
Even now, just like
Never.
not like necessarily breaking down, like crying and like being hysterical or anything like that, but just like letting him know, like right now I'm not like at 100%. Maybe I'm like 80, 70.
There'll be sometimes where I'll be like, can Daddy chill for 5 minutes because I just got home and my back is really hurting. But even in those times, and that's funny that you mentioned that because Tierra just complimented me on that the other day. Even in those times, it won't be 5 minutes. I'll like maybe sit down for 2 minutes and then boom, I'm like right there on the floor with him, crawling around, doing whatever the fuck he wants me to do, or playing hide and seek with him, or carrying him on my back, and that's because he's a kid, and that doesn't turn off for him, and I'm his dad. You know what I mean? And I think the way that you view your parents, I think that's how you're supposed to view your parents. Like, your dad is supposed to be your superhero. Your mom is supposed to be your superhero, and they have their own roles, right? Like, your mom is supposed to be like, always make sure, we went to Chick-fil-A yesterday. It's funny. We went to Chick-fil-A yesterday, and Peanut got a kids meal, and in the kids meal, it was like this little card game of who's the best, and then it would like ask a question, and it was like who's the best at making you breakfast, and he was like mommy, and then I was like who's the best at parking, and he was like oh you daddy, and then who reads you stories the best or whatever, you know what I mean, and it's like you're supposed to be those things for your kids, and just because you're tired, like your kid is not like that's not an excuse for your kid because your kid doesn't understand the concept of work yet, right? So,
Mm.
like, your job is to be their dad, and as their dad or their mom, your job is to continue to indulge in them and continue to um, enforce their learning habits and how they learn and how they have fun and uh, you're creating the curriculum of how their life is going to be moving forward. So if that for you is, oh, I need to sit down for 10-15 minutes because I'm tired, like that's going to become a habit for them, and that's an unnecessary habit that they shouldn't have, because then you're creating a void in their imagination, in the way that they learn, in the way that they do things. Now, if you're sitting down and you like, if say me for instance, right? If I'm tired and I want to sit down, then I should sit down with him with a coloring book or with a story book or with a learning book, and we should go over things together. But I shouldn't just be laying down and on my phone. I shouldn't just be laying down and watching television. I should always be engaging with him in every minute that I have with him, because our lives move too fast and there's so much to do in such a little amount of time, and they grow up so fast and so frequent. It's hard to slow that down, and there is no slowing it down, and you'll understand when you have kids that there is such little time to not be wasted. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mhm.
So
That makes
no,
sense.
I don't. And the difference is with streaming, I choose to do this. As a father, that is my life. Like I'm not saying I have to do that, but it is my life. It's what I've chosen to do.
Mm.
This is just a something, a hobby that I enjoy doing, where I can't just turn off being a dad.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh,
question.
thank you.
Thank you.
Um, no, that was really good. I just thought maybe like, what about when he's older? You think he'll kind of
It
change
never
that as
turns
he?
off. I told my mother when I had Peanut, he was probably 2, 3 years old. I said, I know why you're always tired now. I know why you don't sleep as well as you used to before you had me. Because it doesn't turn off, bro. If something happens in the middle of the night, I need to be there. That's why I don't get drunk very often anymore. Because if I need to go somewhere and need to do something and be there for him, I have to be there for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a very good question, though. I haven't really expressed that. Um, I haven't really expressed that socially. That's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
Hopefully.
mother, is this motherfucker over here doing arts and
Oh
crafts?
no! What are you doing?
No, I need to make sure because I want to read this over time and time again. This is something that's fucking timeless.
I think you got time for one more zero or
Um.
corpse, whoever, somebody. This
Yeah.
has been fun, bro. I've never been through the ringer like this, and this is good. I feel like I think I think a lot of what I've talked about, people already know though, like for the most part, or
Yeah.
could have already figured or guessed.
I think it's good to flesh it out still, and even just like I'm sure maybe they thought you thought one thing and you answered a completely different way, or I don't know. Give
This
this
went a completely different way
perspective.
than I thought it was gonna go. I thought it was gonna be like, "What's your take on trans people? What's your take on fucking schooling?" That's why I was nervous. I was like, "Oh, what is this? What are we gonna talk about?"
No, I know. Earlier you asked if I was gonna make it fun, and I was like, "We'll see." I wanted this to be a genuine attempt at it. I've never interviewed anybody, um, so I didn't know even what questions to ask really, other than like the ones that I kind of like. To be quite honest, I made all of these up on the fly, but it was mostly because I was and am genuinely curious in who you are, instead of like trying to get clips or trying to like make content for it. And like my audience have never really, tapped into like uh, who you are, who Cisco is, and obviously we have a podcast, and yeah, like we said in the beginning, we haven't really delved into each other on the podcast.
And that's
a
the thing
little.
is that's why I found it so interesting was because with myself and I think you two as well, and I think that's why we do so well together in this podcast is I think a lot of us, all of us, wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we are who we are genuinely when we speak in about everything for the last 18 episodes. Um, so to make a podcast about like me specifically, I was kind of like when you said that because you told me that this morning, 7 in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning, So I had
Yeah,
all day to think about it,
yeah.
and I'm just like, man, I do feel like I'm an important person, and I do feel like I hold power and I hold wisdom in the words that I speak, but like I never try and make things solely about me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I do like to chime in with my life experiences a lot of times, but I never want things to be solely about me because it's not just about me. So that's why I was also kind of nervous in this podcast in particular because it's like we're gonna frame a whole 2 hours around me. Like I don't know.
Easily.
I don't think I have that much in me to give. You know what I mean? Question
Yeah,
wise, with like being asked questions. Now, if you were to ask me
sure.
to speak for an hour, uh, maybe I could do that. Give me 5 minutes, I could speak for sure. But 2 hours is like. And I was also nervous about the questions that were going to be asked, and because I'm very honest and very open in the things that are asked to me. So, yeah, like I'm I was nervous for sure.
Good. I'm glad. Do you think this was a good swing at encapsulating who Cisco is?
Yeah, and I think with if for people that have watched other podcasts and then to listen to this one to its entirety, I think you could really understand who I am as a person, and that although I may say things or be combative in things or play devil's advocate, it's not because I want to be a nuisance or be a burden onto somebody. It's because I just want to understand why you think the way that you think. And I just want to
Mm-hmm.
understand the way that you think. And I don't want to tell you that you're wrong in the way that you think. I just want to know why you think that way and what's led. I like to dig real deep, and I like to understand what has led you to believe what you believe and why you believe the things that you believe. Um, and it always comes out of a place of love, and we all know it's love with each other because we always texted to each other. I mean, even last week Putch message he sent me a voice memo and shit and was apologetic about some things that he didn't need to be apologetic about, but that's why I know that this is a good thing that we're doing, because it comes out of a place of love and being genuine, and a little bit of bigotry here and there, but
True.
uh,
Facts.
but yeah, man. I mean, this is. I couldn't have picked two better people to do this style of podcast with, and I'm very grateful and happy, and I appreciate you guys very much, and I appreciate you, Zero, Damien, for even thinking of this concept, because although I do feel like people care, like this is you showing that you care about what people like what people think about me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't have put me in this position if you thought I was a piece of shit and you wanted people to see how big of a piece of shit I
I
was.
would expose the fuck out of you. Yes, I would. No, I'm just
You know,
kidding.
but you know what I mean. Like this is in the way that I view it. This is a way for you to be like, hey, I want you guys to understand how real and loving this person is, and I want you
Mm-hmm.
guys to see it based off of the questions that you asked me tonight. Like this is you just showing people like, hey, this is who he is, and he's a real fucking person and a loving person and a genuine person, and this is what I want you guys. I want you guys to see what I see, type of thing. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you for that,
Yeah, 100%, man.
because not a lot of people get me, bro, and especially not a lot of people get me naked either, bro. But you
Wow.
definitely could. I'm just saying.
Okay. Um. Melissa, we got 2 minutes. I think that's enough for about closing statements. I think that's a good place to wrap up anyway.
So do you wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll start, and then I think Patch has. Wait, stop. I think Patch has something amazing to tell us. So let me start off by saying thank you, Cisco, for entertaining the idea and being such an amazing, even speaker on just like everything. You're super raw on everything you were saying.
Did I say a lot?
And I don't think so. I think you were good. I think you articulated your points clearly, gave us a good history on who you are and what you're like.
I'm gonna need the clips, dog.
Yeah, I'll find the clips.
I've been asking for clips for 2 weeks.
This is a really good episode, though. I feel like I can get some definite clips. So, thank you so much for entertaining the podcast and the idea of it. Thank you so much, Korpsx. For being a part of everything. You've contributed a lot to not only every podcast before, but this one as well, and building off of the questions that I had. And thank you everybody for watching. Everybody in Korpsx's community, Save's community, and my own community. Whether you're watching for a minute, a second, or an hour, or the full 2, I appreciate you. So thank you.
Yeah. Guys, we are building a strong covenant here. Yeah. And there's the saying is blood thicker than water, which is not the full saying. The saying is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. And it speaks to the effect of the people that you keep around you, right? That is your covenant. And I've been big on Exodus. I've been big on the stories of Moses. And I sent Damien a clip of a guy who was giving lecture on this, and I had to go find the scripture, and it goes, God speaks to Moses and he says, my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. And Moses says to him, if your presence will not go with me, do not bring me up from here. And later on in the scripture, God speaks to Moses and he says, behold, I am making a covenant. Before all your people, I will do marvels such as have not been created in all of earth or in any nation. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of the Lord, for it is an awesome thing that I will do with you. And guys, I've always believed that when 2 men are in accord, that God is present, and thankfully enough, there's 3 of us. Yeah, and I am very, very thankful for this covenant that we are building here. I'm thankful for your guys' friendship, right? And the biggest thing is that Moses knows God's name. He's revealed God's name in the scripture, and I know you guys by name. Yeah, you guys may go by other aliases, but I know your name, your given name at birth. Yeah, and I'm thankful for the covenant, and I'm thankful for your guys' life, and I hope that it's a prosperous one.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Much love.
So
yeah.
I will close it out since it's all about me, baby. No, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak my piece, and I'm so excited to hear and see what we come up with for you guys, and for allowing our communities to really understand where you guys come from as well, and how we delve into each other's minds from here on forward, and what the communities see from that. So to Zero's community, to Korpsx's community, thank you guys so fucking much for tuning in. Whether you were here live or whether you're listening to this on the recording, I appreciate you. And to my community, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys for rocking out with us. This has been another Usual Tuesday. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, you guys stay healthy, stay happy. I love y'all. Keep smiling. And we'll see you guys on the next one, all right? You guys have a good night.
All right, boys. Love y'all.